So we have breaking news. Executive producers Lynn Gibson and Wayne Overstreet are excited to announce that the movie project Followed is going to be available on all digital platforms September 1st. Yes. Oh my goodness. This is such an incredible feat for Go Media Productions. I can't be more proud of these two people because I have known them for a long time, and this has just been a blessing in the making. Typically, my co-host, Miko, is here with me like for everything. But I got a phone call last night. I was like, let's do it because we don't have that much time. And I wasn't going to do her like that and be like, okay, girl, we got to get on the phone in an hour. So she's just going to have to catch the next one, you know? But we have some amazing stuff going on Tuesday as well. So, you know, she be all right. One day I was scrolling through my email and I saw this headline news in Variety magazine about Go Media, and I saw two people who are very dear to my heart. I saw both their names pop up, and I was like, no, it's my friend, $150 million. Like, what? Not a friend of mine. Like, yeah, now we really about to be friends. And I was like, 150 million? Like, wait a minute. So let's go back. I'm going to read this, how they put it so eloquently in the article. It says, Georgia's billion-dollar film industry is a star for the Georgia economy, but it loses too much post-production work to Hollywood. That's true. Lynn Gibson and Wayne Overstreet say it doesn't have to be that way. Their new company, Go Media Productions, is investing $150 million into Georgia's film business that will keep those important post-production jobs like film editing, sound design, and special effects from being lost to the West Coast. How incredible is that? We'll be able to keep everything like right here in-house. So until we're able to secure post-productions, we will always be susceptible to Hollywood deciding they could leave. Overstreet told Atlanta Business Chronicle, we indirectly assure that the $150 million, $150 million. I have to just keep saying that because I like the way it rolls off my tongue to know that, you know, that's the kind of support team I have. You know, that's the backing I got up in here at Real Wife Convos. You know, us women in film and entertainment have to know who the real men and women, the real men in film and entertainment are as well. We got to know who the game changers are. So he says we indirectly assure that the $150 million is spent in Georgia, on business in Georgia, with Georgia firms. So now we bring to the stage Lynn Gibson. Wait, I got to do my drum roll. Let me do my drum roll for Lynn Gibson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So I know you're wondering why I have a hat on that says wife, and you know that I'm not married.
Okay, what does that mean?
For women in film and entertainment.
Okay, all right, dope.
We're interviewing Real Wife Convos, and this is where we have real, REEL, wife, women in film and entertainment conversations with women in the film and entertainment industry.
Okay, dope.
Women, they can't be in relationships because, you know, the men is out there. You guys got wives at home, but the women can't even get in a relationship because they trying to keep up with the men. So I
don't have a wife at home, so.
What? Okay, that's
but that's another conversation.
Yeah. So I was briefly, you know, introducing everybody to you, our audience, and I was telling them about, I've known both you and Wayne a long time, and both of you are dear to my heart in different, scenarios and different situations. But this has been a long time coming. Like, you have paid your dues to the film industry.
Oh, yeah.
You have busted and grinded, with the Peachtree Village International Film Festival year after year after year. I think I saw our Facebook anniversary was like, 11 years, 12 years old?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
What hard work does. You find business,
Right.
lose business partners. You come and have new business partners. And, you just, in this film and entertainment business, it's all about who you're gelling with, who has the same ideas, like-minded people that can see your vision, and you guys can just come together and move forward.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right.
Why don't you just break it down in the Cliff Notes and give people a little introduction, because this is a national audience, and everybody is not privileged to know who Lynn Gibson is like I am.
Sure. So I'm Lynn Gibson, founder of the Peachtree Village International Film Festival, but more importantly and newly, I'm also the co-founder as well as the co-CEO of Go Media Productions.
Yeah.
So very excited about that.
Okay, so this was like such a grand opportunity because you guys do post-productions and you fund post-production projects, executive produce. And how important was this deal to the state of Georgia?
Wow. For me, very important, I think, because post-production always leaves the state. We get the film, to come here, the television series to come here, and they shoot, but they leave. They go back to LA, New York, or wherever, right, and complete post-production. So we said, you know what, we have to find a way to keep productions here, to bring more capital to the city and the state. And the only way to do that was to find a group of individuals that were willing to invest in what we were doing. And we were able to find that. We're excited that we were able to move that initiative forward.
Man, so I was telling everybody how I was sitting here, going through my emails, and I saw a Variety article pop up, and I saw Lynn Gibson, Wayne Overstreet, and all, they had me at 150 million, okay? I said, I like to keep saying that because I just like how it rolls off my tongue. Me, a woman in film and entertainment affiliated with someone with $150 million in investment. And no, you guys, I haven't even hit them up for like not even one penny to do a sizzle reel. Nothing yet. Okay, I'm just trying to let them get out there with the big dogs first. And then the women, we're used to being on the back plate, on the back burner. But it's all good because I know they got me. Okay?
Oh, you know that. We got you. We got you.
So how did you find your partner, Wayne Overstreet? Like, did you guys know each other? Were you college roommates? Did y'all used to run for USC on the field together back in the day?
I've been knowing Wayne for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
So Wayne and I met through a mutual friend, and immediately, we knew that there was, synergy. Obviously, we were both in the business, and I started, referring business his way, for post-production.
Right. Wayne is in the waiting room. His ears was burning. He was like, let's see. We're going to act like we don't know. We're bringing him in, and then I'm going to start bad-mouthing him.
Yeah, so we started sharing business, post-production and production in general. And then from there, Wayne actually became a part of the board of the film festival, the Peachtree Village Film Festival. So from there, we continue to work with each other.
So Wayne was a part of the film festival, handing out flyers for you guys, out in the lobby.
he was doing a little bit of everything, that's the, Mr. Executive. So he was helping us get deals done.
there's the man who needs no introduction because we've been introducing you. You know, we told him you was doing big things, and you know, you had the daughter in college, so you know that's always you never know what's going on in Wayne's life. Because I know my production people, post-production, they don't have to be on time, though, like the production people. Because then the people are waiting on them. But this is Wayne Overstreet. And Lynn was just telling us how you guys met. And we're so excited here okay, let me go back. I know Wayne is wondering why I have this hat on that says wife. And Wayne absolutely knows I'm not married. You know why, Wayne?
Why do you have the hat on?
Because it stands for Woman in Film and Entertainment.
Oh, nice. I love it.
You guys are interviewing with Real Wife Convos, but it's REEL Wife Convos, where weekly we have Real Wife Convos with women in film and entertainment because most of the women are single that are in film and entertainment. So I felt it was my duty to make them a real wife.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
Concept. I love it.
So once a month, we do interview male men in film and entertainment. So we have a highlight for that man or men that is doing big things because, you know, where would we be without you guys? Or is that the other way around?
I think it's the other way around.
But more important is, I don't know where you two would be without each other because you guys have managed to join forces and do something that by creating Go Media Productions, that's life-changing for the state of Georgia. Like this is one for the history books.
Well, we're excited about it. That's for sure. You know, God is good. We've known each other for years, and for us to come together for this particular project and for this joint venture, if you would, you know, GO stands for Gibson and Overstreet. So it just kind of all fell into place.
I was wondering about that. I like it.
Yeah. So, you know, it was divine, we feel. And the things we've been able to do together, you know, we both always had the mantra, together we're stronger. And we both kind of shared that with people in our circles and constantly kind of champion that cause that, hey guys, together we're stronger. And for us to be able to come together, both of us like-minded individuals, and apply what we've been preaching has been harmonious and been, it's just hard to explain how things have opened up for us, how things continue to come together, and we continue to expand and evolve. You know, like Lynn, I think when I first came on, he was talking about the post-production aspect of our initial deal.
Right.
But since then, we've gone into distribution. We've gone into P&A and financing through P&A and equity and debt funding as well.
So how many cell phones?
Various partners.
How many extra cell phones did you have to get now?
I still have one.
Oh, really?
I still have one. My number's still the same, you know. But we do have a lot to manage right now, and you know we're figuring it out as we go. Corona or COVID, as it's now referred to, has you know, we've been blessed throughout this process, throughout this quarantine period. It's given us access to people that we normally, you know, people who might be on set or who are tied up have suddenly been stationary, suddenly have had time to read scripts or look at reports or look at projects and give it the time and attention that we needed to get them engaged.
Right.
And then once we were able to engage them, fortunately we had the information needed and the projects available that were appealing.
That is awesome. Now, let me ask you this, because I know I was telling Lynn how I was sitting here minding my own business like I always do every day. And I'm online looking at my emails. And I see this email, Variety. I'm looking and I'm like, what? Wayne Overstreet, Lynn Gibson, 150 million. What? So I didn't know if you guys were just giving out 150 million and why Wayne Orland didn't call me first. But when I went to read further, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm affiliated with these men. These are my real friends in real life. And I'm just like, this is so incredible. So people are calling you, I'm sure, pitching things. We're doing this, we're doing that. How do you guys get together and decide, okay, let's take this for example, dropping September 1st on all digital platforms, Follow the movie. So how did you guys come together? How did that even make it to your plate? With all the collard greens and everything you had on your plate, how was you able to squeeze that on there?
It's interesting. Wayne and I have a saying is that, if a project comes to us once, it's going to come 3 times, right? If we don't get involved with the project initially. Initially, the project was introduced to us by a mutual friend that is not even from the U.S., a friend of ours from Australia. And we looked at the project and we said, this was a cool project. We weren't able to make the deal happen at that time. And we fast forward 6 months later, well into COVID-19, through conversation with another mutual friend named Grant Kramer, who was with or still with Global Pictures Media. And he mentioned, hey, we have this film that we're releasing called Followed. And we're like, hold up, we know about that movie. And we were like, we like it. We would like to see how we could get involved. So we had deeper conversations about it, and we worked out the deal, and we decided to come on and help finance the P&A and distribute the film worldwide. So
had they shot the film already?
It just made sense.
Had they already shot the film and then they needed to go into post, or were they in pre-production, or what point were they at in the film when they came to you?
When they came to us, the film was actually already completed.
Okay.
They were at a stage where they needed the print and advertising capital to release the film worldwide.
Okay. So didn't that make you feel so good that you was in a position, like now you're in the seat, with the yes and the no, besides being on that other side of it? That's got to be a feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely a different role for us, as we've always been, seeking the funds, and we still are in that role, but we have resources we can go to. We have partners that are on standby with the resources and ready to deploy on particular projects that we greenlight. So it's great to be in the position of greenlighting.
Yeah.
In that film, our partners came on and helped with finishing funds for the post, coincidentally. And then we partnered with them to do the print and advertising. So we've got we had a great run in the drive-ins. It was actually the #1 movie in the nation for 2 weeks.
Wow.
It was during COVID, and theaters were not at their normal capacity, but we always say it was still #1 for 2 weeks, and we'll always be able to say that. So that was really awesome. That was it was truly a blessing to be able to do that. And now we're really excited about this September 1st release on digital, all the digital platforms, like you mentioned, because the film is it's got a great following. It's got a great fan base. It's the kind of film that we think will do well and will be known for years, kind of like Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity or some of the other films that have preceded it that it's been compared to.
Now, why is it that horror films always, people like shooting horror because they said they're easy to shoot and they sell fast and they can sell, I guess, internationally? What is it about horror that everyone just loves? Because I'm scared of my own shadow.
Well, I will say this. I mean, one of the reasons horror works is because it translates across all demos, and it translates, around the world. So, what's normally scary to you is scary to everyone.
Sure.
Comedy is different, drama is different, but horror movies, are pretty much the same, you know, in terms of everyone being on the same plateau and understanding what's happening on that screen. So that's one of the reasons why they do very well around the world.
And what I noticed about horror is they have their own category when it comes to the articles, the blogs. Like there are a lot of blogs just geared toward horror. Like they have their own little lane. I didn't realize that lane was like a freeway though. You know, it's not a little lane, it's an open highway. So that's amazing. I guess everybody likes the thrill seeking, you know, being thrill seeking.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
The shock factor, like you say, the thrill seeking. I think everybody, like Lynn said, being afraid. A horror movie is international. It translates in every genre and every culture. You know, horror is the same. You know, often we hear as we look to distribute and to develop films that, believe it or not, comedies don't do well internationally. Because from culture to culture, the comedy is different.
True.
And what's considered funny is different. And jokes that land here don't land in other places.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah.
And you know, that's almost like Atlanta, us having our own culture, because I was at an award show and an Atlanta artist was on the stage and the people in the West Coast were looking like, but whereas I knew if they were on the stage here, it would have just been like a whole different vibe, but they were just trying to figure it out. They were rocking with it like, okay, I guess since they're on stage, but I could see the confusion in everybody's face, like, what is going on here? And that's the beauty of Atlanta, having our own culture. And that is the beauty of Go Media Productions, because you guys are specializing in post-production and helping do things. And I don't know of another, you know, company that has that amount of money to do investments and make those kind of calls. And we can keep everything in Georgia and not have to source out, you know, the post. That had to be aggravating for you, Wayne, because, you know, films are done and you're like, I could do this. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to bring in so-and-so. And you're like, but just let me get a chance, you know?
Yes. And there's so many qualified people here in Atlanta.
Right.
And that's part of our mission. We feel like if we keep the post here, if we're able to finance the projects and help the directors and writers that are local, then we have a sustainable ecosystem where we write, direct, shoot, and do the post-production here in Georgia, in Atlanta, and have a sustainable model. Now, we have partners internationally, fortunately. We've got partners in Europe. We got partners in Africa. We got partners in LA, New York, you know. So our business it started as a Georgia thing, but fortunately for us, it has expanded internationally. But, you know, Atlanta is home for us, and we're always looking to grow the industry here. You know, we want to do a lot of work with students. You know, you got basically 10 major universities here in Atlanta, and we want to reach out and do partnerships with the universities to help to train and develop the next generation of filmmakers.
Oh, you guys are going to end up with your own class that people can get a degree in at the college. If they can give Kandi Burruss a class at Georgia State on her life, I think. The class, I'm like, wait a minute, wow. Class on her life? Wow. This her life as an artist? And I'm like, I would take that class. Because if I don't get an A in that class, then I don't even belong in Georgia. I don't need to eat another peach ever. Now, let me ask you about the actors. Are the actors from Georgia? Are they international? Are they from all over? Did you guys get a chance to interact with them at all?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, in general, for sure. We're working with actors from everywhere.
No, in Follow.
In Follow, the actors are you know, U.S. based.
Okay.
But all throughout the U.S., not just Georgia. But our interaction was mainly, you know, with the marketing and distribution on the film. So we didn't get a lot of interaction with the stars, but I think they're all U.S. based.
Yeah, it's a great topic. You know, Follow, because everybody's following everybody. And
Right.
okay.
Right.
And then the Twitter is huge because of Donald Trump. You know, he loves to tweet. So there's so many marketing factors that, you know, you could tie in when you're putting the word out, that those algorithms can go through where it really helps what you're doing, because everything ties right in. So I love it. I loved everything, you know, about the trailer, the suspense that it built, and just the fact that you guys were like, you know what, this is a win-win for us. Now, was it the 3 times that it got to you that y'all was like, all right, there it is, that's the third one, let's make a move?
You know, that happens a lot, you know, when projects come back. And, you know, it's just the nature of the beast, you know, in terms of the business. The first time, again, at that time, they were looking for finishing funds. And we were just totally, our focus at the time was strictly post-production.
Right.
We were like, if it's not post-production, we're not looking at anything else. And that was at that time.
Right.
And then they came back again, and it was still, you know, finishing funds. And we're like, no, post-production. But the timing was right the third time. We were looking at distribution and print and advertising, and it fell right in our space, and we got involved. It was a perfect fit.
That's why you cannot give up. When they say no, you say yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, you say, okay, next week.
Well, as people, we generally always have a plan B and a plan C.
Yep.
Because we're used to having to adjust on the fly and be liquid, be fluid in our motion,
Right.
because we often do get no's, and we just have to keep pushing. And as a filmmaker, in general, you have to keep pushing. But for us, kind of like what you mentioned, that's why we're on the line with you, Jonelle, because you know about the algorithms and the things, the keywords that trigger, you know, response on the internet, and that are going to get a certain allow for traffic flow.
Oh, you know,
with the name Followed, we were like, you know what? Everybody's following everybody. You know, everybody's online. This is perfect. This is the kind of thing that could really get momentum and really take off. It's something everybody can relate to. It's something everybody is doing, young and old. So we felt like it checked a lot of boxes. It appealed to a lot of different genres and age groups and economic groups, and it was a perfect fit for our expansion into print and advertising. So
do you guys have to have a brick and mortar facility for your whole team, or does it have to work that way with everything being how it is, so digital and emails and everything else going on?
Well, we don't necessarily have to, and obviously, you know, now, you know, during COVID-19, most people are working from home anyway. So for us, luckily, most of what we do is done, you know, via the internet and our cell phones. So we're right in pocket, you know, with what we need to do to keep business flowing. Eventually, we will move into a new space, but right now, I mean, we're excited.
You don't have to worry about
still running.
The checklist, the 6 feet apart, the mask, if one employee is going to come in, like, that is so awesome to not have to go through that, honestly, you know? Even if it's COVID, you looking at people across the room like, go on back home with all that coughing and sneezing. Because, you know, when you have a family, you can't, it's not just you. So if you take it home, it's everybody. So it's playing it safe. And it obviously did not slow you down, because every time you guys open up your website, you see go. So, you know, you can't help but to do anything but be progressive. I love it. I love everything about it. I don't know why I was talking to Wayne about Twitter, because I know Wayne does not tweet. But if Wayne knew that it was going to be a smash for that and he don't tweet, then you know it's a good thing. Now, Lynn, I don't know. Do you tweet?
Just a little bit. I'm more of the IG and Facebook guy, but a little Twitter.
Yeah, that's for the more mature audience.
He keeps me up to date.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm gonna keep both of y'all up to date. You know, now that we found love, what are we gonna do? That's the question I want to go with right there. But I wanted everyone.
We're just glad to. Sorry, I mean to cut you off. But
I just wanted everyone to see your faces, because people read the articles and they see you, but you know they don't get to hear the conversations, which is why, you know, I kind of created this platform, because sometimes people just want to hear real conversations like, okay, break it down. What do I need to do? Not the Hollywood talk, not the let's do lunch. And now, you know, nobody can say that no more. Let's do lunch. Unless you do it on Zoom and you eat and we talk. But here we can talk about
as Ramona like to say, everybody, people have to say, get at me.
And you already know when they say get at me, that means catch me if you can.
Well, with us, you know, we believe in championing the cause of the underserved, because we're a part of the underserved.
Yes.
And we, you know, we try to do business with everybody, but we do try to make a conscious effort to include and incorporate people that we can, people, especially young kids, the HBCUs, people of that nature. It's always part of our mission to give back and to help and to give opportunity where there was none. You know, we've been fortunate to have some really great partnerships with some really great people who have opened doors for us. And throughout my life, I've been blessed in that way. So we just try to do things, you know, justly, in order, decently, and look out for everybody we can, work as hard as we can, and we try to do what we say we're going to do.
Now, Lynn has that Rolodex, though. Lynn got that Rolodex from 2009 from the first film festival, okay? And he has contacts with every single person in the industry, because they've all come to be a part of that film festival. And that's what film festivals are actually made for. And it's a lot of out of work actors. And I asked them, you know, doing public relations, like, oh, are you going to the film festival this year? And they're like, no, I don't have any film, so I'm not going. Like, that is like, you missing it. You're missing everything. Like, that's where you go, where you see the people that you're not going to see anywhere else. Okay. Let me tell you, the NAACP Image Awards after party and the film festivals is where you're going to see people that you cannot get on the phone. And they're drinking. You can just go pin them up in that corner and pitch, you know? When I moved to Georgia, people did business differently, because here people wanted to have you come into an office. They judged you by how you were dressed, and, you know, then they might have looked you up online, but not really. But in California, it was like, okay, meet me tonight at the bar. People did business, you know, out socially, and that's how they solidified things. So everything was so different here. Now, let me ask you, are you guys getting, let's say on an average a day, how many email pitches do you get from people needing your services?
Wow. We probably get, now it's even more. I would say at least 10 projects a week.
10 projects a week.
Yeah, so, you know, two a day, you know, two a day during the week, and sometimes more. You know, It just depends. Sometimes we get packages from groups, or, you know, even studios. You know, so we're getting projects from a variety of different individuals at all times.
So you guys are so calm, cool, and collective. Just, is that a production thing? You know, like, let me just keep my calm, keep my inner peace? Or is that because it's Sunday and we're talking? Because I don't know. I just feel like you guys should be so overwhelmed right now. Y'all be looking at your watch like, okay, can she hurry up?
No, I think it's both of our nature. You know, we get that a lot. We don't get too excited. We don't get too down. You know, in this industry, things come and go. It's an ebb and flow. Sometimes deals may get to third base and never make it home. So you be somewhat crazy. It could make you crazy if you get too high or too low.
Right.
We're always thankful and appreciative of everything we get, and we know, hey, nothing's promised, and you know, just we know that we're blessed to be here. So
Right.
we are thankful. We're excited, but we contain our excitement until after the deal is done in most cases. And even then, we're fortunately busy and on to the next one. So
Right. You don't even have
that
time
helps
to
us.
pop a bottle or nothing, because it's like, okay, now we got to worry about this over here.
Well,
Can
now
you
you got to
explain
deliver.
how important integrity is in this business?
Wow. And integrity is everything. We tell people that all the time because what happens is the business is very, very small, right?
Very, very
And,
small.
and what happens a lot of times, Wayne and I will end up on conversations or in meetings, and there's someone else that we met that we know from 10 years ago. And it's always a good thing because we know that we had and we kept good integrity
Right.
throughout the business, throughout our careers. So we don't have to go hide, you know what I mean? So that is, it's so important to keep a good name and have great integrity. Your name is everything in this business. So integrity is so important.
And it happens a lot. It happens a lot with us where a lot of deals we were able to complete or make is because there was somebody on the other side that had history with one of us, that did something with us in the past or know us from a previous situation. And we always say to each other, man, it's a good thing we were good to them. It's a good thing we had a good relationship with them, because the whole deal could have fell apart just on the fact that, oh no, that person's in the deal who you didn't have good interaction with. So we just always say, you know, from the CEO, from the custodian to the CEO, we treat everybody the same, because, you know, nobody is more important or less important, and you never know whose path you're going to cross again.
Right.
I always tell people, be good to the PAs and the interns, because one day they're going to be the VPs and the directors.
In
because
the last,
people,
in the last 12 years, I've seen so many people go from being a PA to now EPing award shows, EPing all the gaming shows and everything. It's just like, man, and it's a proud feeling. I didn't mean to cut you off, Wayne. What were you saying?
No. I was just saying that the initiative that it takes to be a PA, an intern, to put yourself out on the limb and be willing to serve, and it just takes a certain mindset that's also the same mindset that's going to make them leaders one day. And it's the kind of mindset that is going to help them succeed. So I always tell people, you know, blessings aren't going to come and knock on your door. You got to get out and make things happen. And the people who are willing to come on set and be a PA or intern at one of these networks, they have drive and initiative, and they're going to be somebody one day.
How important is humility? Being humble.
Oh man. So I mean, it's right up there with integrity, because you know you have to be humble, because again, you never know what's going to happen next, right? And you never know who you're going to need next. So being humble is a part of the journey that's needed every step of the way. No matter if you just achieved something or if you just lost something, you got to remain humble the entire time. I know it's hard sometimes, you know, you got $1 million check, you just, you know, got a project greenlit, but you know, you got to remain humble. Everybody's watching. Everybody's watching the entire time. So you never know who you're going to need or what you're going to need. So it's very important.
It's very important. So what are the top 3 things that you would say would get a project in your door the fastest? Because sometimes, you know, people can come to you and they have this great project, a great idea, but you already know their workmanship, you know, that works well with others, like on the report card. Check. So no matter how good it is, it's like, you know what? Don't do it. Don't do it. Like, what would you say the 3 most important things if people came to you, besides being persistent, that you would say, okay, And the fact that if it's a no right now, don't get an attitude. Don't run out and just be all mad and, oh, they hating on my project. You know what I mean? Like, just be patient. Be patient because things roll back around and a good attitude and a humble, okay, not right now. I got you. So I'm going to keep bringing stuff your way. Will go a whole lot farther than the attitude. But right now, we're in the, I want it right now. Everybody wants everything right now. And the people who want it right now is probably the people who haven't been in the business the longest, who really don't have a clue. So let me let you guys break that down. How you like people to approach you? Because I know people are, a lot of them are probably just approaching it all wrong, where you're like, if he would have just did it like this, maybe we could, you know, it could work. Because that's, the pitch is a big part of the deal, right? Or no?
No, you're absolutely right. And preparation is everything to us. You know, what happens, you come in the door, you know, and first impression is everything. We always hear that, right? And if you're not prepared, you know, you're gonna lose. It's so important. You know, everybody, like you said, everybody want a microwave career, right? They want to basically get from 0 to 100 in 2 minutes, and it's impossible to do that if you're gonna be successful. So preparation, you got to study. You got to put yourself in a position where you're taking the time to learn the craft and come extremely prepared. You know, so many times that we will, you know, meet a young man or a young woman that come with a pitch or an idea, and we're like, wow, we really like that. And then when we ask, you know, what's the budget? Or we ask the question, you know, who do you have in mind as a cast? Or we ask, you know, when would you like to shoot it? Or what's your schedule? Or there's so many questions that we can ask and that we do ask. And oftentimes we get nothing. We get a quiet response. And to us, we said, you know, you're not ready. You're not ready. So when you come to the table, you got to come correct. You got to be prepared. That's most important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And realize that with that preparation, do the things necessary that people have told you. You know, we have people say, well, I've been working on this project 10 years, and they bring that 10 years of frustration with them. Treat every meeting like a fresh new meeting.
Right.
The person on the other side hasn't been developing your project for 10 years like you have. Or if you're missing some ingredients in your project, take heed to that and address it. You know, if you don't have a budget, get a budget done. If you don't have any talent attached or a talent wish list, then have that. Because for us, that's a driving factor. Because we got to assess your budget. We got to, and often we got to look at the talent and see, is this talent comparable to your budget? Often filmmakers will say, well, we want to do it for $10 million and have no idea why. Or they want to do it for $10 million, but their lead cast, unfortunately, the way this business is structured, haven't done a film over $1 million or hasn't had a film make over $1 million. So now you're asking investors to invest $10 million in a project, but when they look at it, they don't see the potential return on their investment. They don't see the opportunity there, the pieces to the puzzle in place that say, okay, we can take this and we can make $10 million. Right. You know, you got to treat it like a business, because while it's film and television, it's the business of film and television.
Right.
And you have to be able to show people that you have the business part of it figured out. And often creatives, you know, we fall in love with our passion projects, but they haven't looked at the business elements and say, you know what, I love this project. It's a great project. And this is why you should get behind this project, because I've outlined how you can make your money back.
Right. Yeah. It's so funny. Someone came to me and they said they had a song that they wanted to do. The song wasn't even mixed and mastered. Now they were moving on to the merchandise part. So they're like, they're going to get all this merchandise made so that they can make money off the merchandise. So they're going to attach it to the song. But I was like, but you haven't sold any music. What if people like the merchandise and they don't like the song? Are you ready to go into the apparel business? Because that's what you're gonna land. And there was like, I never really thought about that. And I'm like, how could you not? I was like, you know what? I gotta call you back. Because right then and there, I was like, I'm not ready to be an instructor, at this point, because there's too many people that season that's ready to go. And to go back to teaching class is like, don't even call me no more. And I really was kind of like, you know what? I need an answer by midnight, or, it was nice meeting you. And they were like, wow.
Absolutely.
And
we
like
get
business. It's just all business. Now tell me the one film that you guys can remember that, of course, was no fault of yours, that you thought was going to be a really huge film because of everyone attached to it, and it just bombed.
Wow.
What comes to mind? Trivia.
Sadly, those films aren't memorable.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me tell you what I remember. It was a movie with Common and Queen Latifah. I think it was a basketball movie or something like that.
Yeah, you told, Just Right.
Yes, and everybody just knew, and I heard, that movie put the person who financed the film just had to go out of business.
The sad thing about that is it's actually a good movie.
It is a great movie.
Sometimes the projected desired dollar value return is, again, higher than a particular movie is worthy of or can return. So, and then sometimes it's all about, print and advertising. Did they put the right amount of advertising in? Because we were talking about this just today. You could have the greatest film in the world, but if nobody knows it's out there, then it's not going to do well. And then people will discover it over time because people have been watching it online or in a digital platform. But for that initial investment, it didn't do well, or by box office standards, it didn't do well. But it's all about, and that's why we're in the print and advertising business, because we realize that that's the most critical piece.
Right.
In a lot of films, lower budget films that we were, I guess, privy to be a part of or to see, often our films have, especially, African American based films, they got 10% P&A. Right. And general market films have 80 to 100% P&A. Wow. And that's a critical, there's a big disparity there. So for us, we realized and have learned that if you put the right amount of P&A, and if you put 80 to 100% of your budget in P&A as well, a film will do well. People often say that Get Out was made for $3 million. But Len, correct me if I'm wrong, the P&A budget was $20 million?
Yeah, definitely the P&A budget, was more than what they spent, to produce the film. And you make really, really important points. To answer your question, Janelle, about a film that I remember, it's actually several, but I'll mention three that most of us as African Americans consider classics today. One being Love Jones, another being Dead Presidents, and another being The Inkwell. All three of those films didn't do that well.
Really?
And I know that's the response of most people. They say, really, because those films obviously are considered classics today, right?
Right.
But from a theatrical standpoint, they didn't do well. But one of the most important reasons they didn't do well is because in the boardrooms, when the decisions were being made from a marketing standpoint, the print and advertising, there weren't people that looked like us that were making the decisions in terms of where to market or promote those films. A good friend of mine who produced, I'm not going to say the name of the movie or the individual, but he produced an African-American based film. And on that Monday, an article came out, or an ad, I should say, for the film. It was in the Home and Garden magazine. This was an African-American film geared towards African-American males. I don't know many men that read the Home and Garden magazine. I don't. So all of that money, and we all know how much a full page ad costs in a
Right.
magazine, a national magazine.
Right.
So think about that, and that ad ran for weeks, or it ran for a couple of months, leading up, to the release of the movie. But those are the decisions that are being made a lot of times
Right.
for certain movies. The individuals that are in the room don't look like us. And it's very important that, you have the diversity in the room to make the right decisions.
Right.
And that's another reason why we got involved with P&A and distribution. Very important.
That's very smart. Because I look at, when I send my email blasts out, I picked newscasters and anchor people and people who were also spreading news. Because when I was sending out like little email blasts, I just did it because I didn't have anything really to do. And then someone approached me, a very popular blogger, and was like, you can write on my blog. Like, you're not even making money. I just like supporting African-American films and things that we were doing. And they're like, why are you just doing that? And I'm like, because I like to do it as a pastime. But as I started seeing the people who were opening up, because I could see who reads it, and I'm like, really? Like, he looks at everything, and it was a lot of really big, people, high profile, that were just getting the email blast, and, that were keeping the news. And I started seeing the AJC was reprinting the articles from my email blast, because I was putting it out first, and I was like, and I was seeing all these different people. So then I realized, like, wow, but that's what happens when you don't really have proper training. But I'm passionate. If I'm passionate about what you're doing, it's no price tag on that. Like, I'm just going to get out there and push it to the people because you're my people and I want everybody to know. But I had to just own that into a little pricing package as I learned. When you know better, you do better.
Well, that's why you're successful at it, because it's something you would do for free.
Right.
I always say, find what you do well and you'd be willing to do for no compensation and be able to get paid for it, and then you'll live in your dream.
Right, exactly. So
it just comes natural for you.
And that's why I'm a wife now.
There you go.
And that's why I'm still single, because I'm just doing all of this.
There you go. I love it.
That's married.
I love it.
So thank you guys for your time so much. I'm so excited about Followed. I am definitely going to put this out and actually get a couple of articles up. I still got till midnight because it's still till midnight till it's the first. So as soon as we hop on the phone, it's a little edit, and I'm so happy that my girl Ramona DeBro taught me how to edit back in the day. She was like, oh, and she makes everything look so easy. And so she just does stuff while she's talking, and I'm like, this girl is not even human. So thank you so much. You guys are so incredible. I'm so super proud of you. I know we're going to get together offline, and discuss how we can make this work, because I think we make a great team. Look at us. We look great together. We look great on camera. We need to do a photo shoot, the three of us, just to get things off the ground.
Let's get it.
You tell us when, Jonelle. We'll be there. Anything we could do for you without saying, it's done.
All right.
We thank you for taking the time and doing this
absolutely.
interview with us and letting people know about Follow.
Y'all got on y'all Sunday suits?
Yeah, well, we won't tell them you made us put them on.
I ain't trying to get y'all credit like y'all on y'all Sunday suits, Sunday's best. I was in a Sunday dress, but I had to, represent. So I said, okay, let me just do it like this. But I appreciate you being our guest highlight on Real Wife Convos, and the Real Wives will take a look at this and see how they can fit in, because that's what we do. As women, we always trying to get in where we fit in, but I'm going to tell them, just be prepared. Have your stuff together, people. So
Absolutely.
I'm going away with this, with the top 3 things that's very important. See, you guys didn't know I was making a list as you were telling me that. And these are the things that's important that you need to have together, before you approach people, so that way they know you're serious, you're ready to go, and that's less work they're going to have to do. And they need to feel that passion so that they'll know you are going to remain attached to the project Because by the time you guys say yes, they might have just jumped ship to something else.
Well, that's very true. And with us in particular, we want to help. So give us a reason to help. Allow us to be able to help by having things together that we need. But most people you encounter, they want to help, but they only need half an excuse to not. So make sure you eliminate the reasons that people can say no to you in life.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Wayne. And
No problem.
Now.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Enjoy your day.
All right, you too.